Welcome to Tired Mommy Revival. Hey mama, are you running on coffee fumes? Feeling like brain fog, fatigue, and anxiety are running the show? Do you wake up dreading the day ahead, already overwhelmed by the endless to-do list and unsure how you'll make it through? Do you long for the energy to enjoy motherhood and care for yourself, but feel stuck and unsure where to start? Let me remind you of something life-changing. You were created for more energy, more clarity, more joy. Hi, I'm Jerusha, certified holistic wellness coach, wife and mom to 2 wild boys and 1 baby girl in heaven. I know the exhaustion you're feeling because I've been there, barely making it through the day, relying on coffee and chocolate to survive, and wondering why nothing I tried ever made me feel better. Then, God stepped in and revealed a powerful truth. A woman's body is beautifully and uniquely designed to thrive. When we align with how God created us, we can boost our energy, bust through fatigue, and step into the vibrant, joy-filled life He has for us. Mama, I'm living proof that it's possible. These days, I wake up refreshed, nourish my body with intention, and navigate the chaos of motherhood with patience and peace. Most days. And I want to help you do the same. If you're ready to swap exhaustion for energy, brain fog for clarity, and guilt for grace, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into practical strategies, faith-filled truths, and empowering tools to renew your health, body, soul, and spirit. Are you ready for this? Let's do it, mama. Hey there, mama. I am so glad you're here. Today, we're diving into one of the most important topics when it comes to your health, holistic wellness. Maybe you've been to the doctor and they said, everything looks normal, but you still feel exhausted, overwhelmed, anxious, or just off. Or maybe you've tried every diet, every new supplement, every workout trend, and still nothing seems to work. If that sounds like you, I want you to know you're not crazy and you're not alone. That used to be my story too. I spent years chasing answers that never quite got to the root of what was going on. And it wasn't until I started looking at my health through a holistic lens that everything began to change. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What holistic wellness actually is and why it matters so much for you as a mom. So what is holistic wellness really? Let's start with the basics. Holistic wellness means looking at the whole person, body, soul, and spirit, instead of just isolating symptoms. It's about understanding that your fatigue, your brain fog, your cravings, your mood swings, they're all connected and they're trying to tell you something. Conventional healthcare often focuses on symptom chasing. You have headaches, take a pill. You're tired, maybe it's just stress or your age. But holistic wellness asks, why is your body giving you these signals in the first place? What systems are out of balance? And how can we support them in a natural, sustainable way? That's the goal, right? Is to get to the root issue, to really find out what's going on so that we can resolve it, not just today, but for a lifetime, and ultimately feel better and show up better instead of just covering up the symptoms. And ultimately, it's not about just green smoothies or taking the right supplements. It's about your hormones, your blood sugar, your gut, your nervous system. And it's also about your beliefs and your thoughts and your relationship with God. It's about how you sleep and how you eat and how you move and how you rest. Those things that God designed us for on a basic level. Everything is connected in our health. Here's the beautiful part. God didn't design you to be burned out and running on fumes. He created your body with the capacity to heal, to flourish, and to thrive. Yes, even as a woman in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. Yes, even as a mom in the midst of messy motherhood. This is true for you. But we live in a world that often teaches us to disconnect from that design. We're told to hustle harder, to push through, to ignore the symptoms, or to cover them up with quick fixes like medication or even supplements and so-called health products that we're not really sure why they're helping us, but they make us feel better for a little bit. Maybe they don't even require us to change anything in our lifestyle. They just help us kind of barely get through, and also creates a dependency on needing those supplements to feel okay, even though we know something is going on underneath. As moms, we're also told to put everyone else's needs first and to feel guilty for prioritizing our own health. But mama, your health matters. Not just so that you can take care of everyone else, but because you were created to be whole. 1 Corinthians 6:19 reminds us that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. It says, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God?" I really love how the Message translation puts this. It says, "Didn't you realize that your body is a sacred place, the place of the Holy Spirit? Don't you see that you can't live however you please, squandering what God paid such a high price for?" This is the good part. "The physical part of you is not some piece of property belonging to the spiritual part of you. God owns the whole works. So let people see God in and through your body." That's where the power of this comes in. Often we think about the kind of quality that we're offering Holy Spirit in our homes is dependent upon our spiritual cleanliness and not the condition of our actual body. We know that in some ways that we are connected in body and spirit, but as a culture, we don't often connect the health of our body with any real relevance to the Holy Spirit. The relevance that this holds for us is that when we steward our physical health, we allow our spiritual health to grow as well. Our spiritual health and our physical health run parallel to one another. And when we take care of ourselves in the way that God created our needs to be met, then we're able to show up more fully, physically and spiritually, the way that we were created to. Ultimately, this means that your body is not only sacred, but it's not selfish to care for it. And in fact, it's an act of worship and stewardship. When we align with God's design for our health, everything changes. We stop chasing fixes and we start healing from the inside out. Now, I want to walk you through 5 of the foundational systems in your body that impact everything from your energy to your mood to your ability to lose weight and feel well. Number 1 is blood sugar balance. When your blood sugar is all over the place, you feel it. Energy crashes, mood swings, irritability, sugar cravings. This isn't just about diabetes. This is about daily life. The reality of blood sugar imbalance for Americans as a society, and I'm sure in many other parts of the world, but especially for women, is so prevalent. And this is because some of our hormones are more sensitive to insulin than others. And because of the way that we eat, we often think that it's normal and it's fine. But what we don't realize is that our blood sugar being out of balance can actually cause our hormones to be out of balance too. And it actually creates this cascade of issues in our body that not only affect our energy levels, but our hormones and really how we're thriving in so many areas. The number one thing that I want you to focus on is eating something healthy when you break your fast. So if you eat breakfast, then this applies to you. But if you skip breakfast and you wait until lunch or whenever you're eating that first meal of the day, or even the first thing that goes into your body during the day, which includes your coffee, or maybe even sugary or caffeinated drinks, the drink matters, but the meal matters too. I want you to focus on getting a really clean, healthy first meal of the day, okay? Focus on something like protein rich or healthy fats and stay away from all the sugary things that are going to immediately throw your blood sugar out of balance, increase your cravings throughout the day, and plummet your energy, as well as so many other things that are just going to cascade and snowball down from that. If you've been starting your morning with a sugary, caffeinated beverage, let's make sure to cut that out or to find a way to make it healthier so that you can still enjoy that thing like coffee, but without all the sugar that's going to ultimately sabotage all of your goals, your health, and your happiness. And let's instead focus on something really nutritional and beneficial that's going to sustain you throughout the day. There's a time and place for the sugar, but it's not when you're breaking your fast. Okay, number 2, let's talk about digestive health. Your gut is often called your second brain, and for a good reason. It impacts your mood, your immune system, your skin, your clarity of thought. And if you struggle with bloating, constipation, or brain fog, that may be a symptom that your gut is asking for help. So let's start by drinking more water, eating whole foods, and by result, also reducing processed foods, and eating probiotic rich foods like sauerkraut or kefir and things that are going to feed that good gut bacteria. One of the number one ways that you can improve your gut health is simply eating more vegetables, especially fiber rich vegetables. It's going to do absolute wonders for your health, but it will absolutely help your gut thrive in so many ways. Number 3, your liver detox pathways. So your liver is constantly working to filter toxins from your body, but if it's overwhelmed, your hormones can get out of balance because it's actually a really huge hormone center in the body. You can also see your skin breaking out a lot. You could feel really sluggish too. And so you can support your liver by also eating more vegetables, especially cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. And those things are going to not only help your liver, but also your gut health. And also make sure that you're drinking enough water so that you can flush out those toxins from your body and avoid alcohol and unnecessary medications whenever possible. Number 4 is your lymphatic system. This is your body's drainage system, and it helps move waste out of the body. But unlike your heart, your lymph system doesn't have a pump. It needs movement to work and to get things going. Otherwise, they can pool up in areas of your body and you can actually hold on to those toxins, which, surprise, will show up in a lot of ways, including fatigue and a lack of energy. So things like walking, deep breathing, dry brushing, or even stretching can help your lymphatic system in a really big way. It will help those toxins flow and get out of your body and reduce inflammation as well. Number 5 is your nervous system regulation. If you're living in a constant state of stress, your nervous system gets stuck in fight, flight, or freeze mode. This affects your digestion, your hormones, your sleep, and your peace. I recently listened to a podcast with Lisa Bevere and Dr. Josh Axe, whom I both love and admire and subscribe to. But they were talking about health and how it affects your body and your longevity. And they were saying that you can be really, really healthy and stressed out, and you will ultimately be a more sick person than if you didn't eat that healthy, but you weren't stressed out. And for all of us people who are prone to stress, we maybe even grew up in a stressful environment from the time that we were very young. It might come very natural to us to feel like we can handle stress and maybe even pride ourselves in the fact that we can handle more stress than most people. But just because you can tolerate it doesn't mean that it's good for you. And it does not mean that you're immune to the effects of stress. People have different tolerance levels for stress. Basically, what that means is that your breaking point mentally is further down the road than other people's, but ultimately, the effects of stress affect everyone, regardless of how much you can handle before you have a mental breakdown. It's always affecting the health of your body. And you might see that as kind of an undercurrent of your life. You're like, I'm so healthy, I'm doing all the right things. But if you're stressed out all the time, there's going to be this flow of illness that is ultimately coming against everything else that you're doing. And if you want to get healthy and improve your energy, you really have to reduce your stress. Things like practicing deep breathing can really calm your nervous system. Also, just taking time for prayer or quiet time. I mean, how often do we get that as moms? Even if it's just for 2 minutes, if you can step out on your front porch or somewhere where you can just go outside or put your face in the sun and take in some deep breaths, then do that as often as you can. Even if it's for 30 seconds, 3 times a day, do what you can to calm your nervous system. Also, grounding in nature, just going outside and putting your feet in the ground will actually create a sense of calm in your body that you can't get any other way. And even something as simple as putting your hand on your heart and taking a moment to pause can start to regulate your nervous system. So don't overlook those small moments. Maybe you're even coming into a season where you have been surrounded by your children nonstop all the time, and now maybe they're going to school. I want to encourage you, if you have some space that's opening up in your schedule, don't fill it with something else. There will always be a million things drawing your attention away. But one of the best things that you can do is to create a rhythm of rest, to create space for peace to work in your life. You can pray for peace, but if you don't cultivate it, it's not going to be there. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just start where you are with one small shift. Okay, now let's talk about why all of this is especially important for moms. We're often running on empty, and the go-to solutions we're offered are either band-aids like caffeine or a new supplement, or guilt-driven fixes like you just need to try harder or you need to be more efficient. But those things ultimately don't work for our health and our happiness. Holistic wellness gives us a way to work with our bodies instead of pushing against them or pushing them even further. It gives us tools to restore energy and to clear the fog and to feel like ourselves again. And it helps us show up for our families with presence and joy. This isn't about perfection. It's about tuning in, paying attention, and honoring the design God already placed within you. If this resonated with you today, here are a few simple things you can do. Number 1, start your day with water before coffee. Eat a protein-rich breakfast. Step outside and take a few deep breaths of fresh air. Or find 5 minutes to sit and talk with God and ask Him, what is my body trying to tell me? You don't have to figure it all out today. Just begin with something small that feels realistic and attainable. You were created for wellness. Your body is good. Healing is possible. And you don't have to walk this journey alone. If you feel like you need some support and you want to take the next step, I'd love to walk with you inside my Live Healthy Mama course. Or if you need something more personalized, I also offer one-on-one coaching too, including a free meeting where we can get together. You can ask questions, let me know what's going on, and I can share my thoughts. You can find the links for all of those down below in the show notes and as well on my website, chavawellness.com. If this episode encouraged you, would you please share it with a fellow mama who needs it? You are worth the investment, friend, and you're not alone on this path. I'll see you next time. Mama, I hope this episode blessed you and reminded you that you were beautifully and uniquely made to thrive. If today's conversation spoke to your heart, I'd love for you to take a moment to leave a rating and review. Not only does it encourage me, but it helps more tired mamas discover the hope, healing, and energy they've been searching for. You're not in this alone. Make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Together, we'll reclaim your energy, renew your health, and revive your spirit, one step at a time. Until next time, remember, you are beautifully designed by God to live with energy, clarity, and joy. You're not just surviving, mama. You're stepping into the vibrant life you were created for. I'm cheering you on.